Andrew Walton here, founder of the Six Figure Nomad, and in this video we are going to look at how to improve conversions on hypnotherapyinsurrey.com. So the first thing we always have to look at when we're talking about a home page, a landing page, or another conversion page is that the first impression lets the user know that they are in the right place, that this is what they're looking for. And immediately we have an issue with the headline. Hypnotherapy helps you to feel confident, presumably to work on the issues you are struggling with. So there are two problems with this phrasing. Feeling confident, first of all, is a very abstract and non-concrete term. It's hard to picture what the result is, and then issues you are struggling with is very, very general. It's far too general. And what happens with that is that now, even if your ideal client lands on this page, they're going to read this and not know that this is for them, not know that you can help them just because it's so general. So your ideal client, or even a general potential client who comes to your website, they're going to have some sort of specific issues they're struggling with. Even something like saying to break a bad habit, maybe hypnotherapy can help someone reverse or break or replace a bad habit within a certain length of time. That's still fairly general, but that's much more specific than what we have here. So the ideal case scenario is that you talk about something very specific, like I see in the nav bar here you have quit smoking. So you could say something like, here's how hypnotherapy can help you quit smoking in X amount of time. That's more specific now. That definitely appeals to part of your audience. Or you could be a little bit more general if you want to appeal to people who aren't only smoking and talk about bad habits or something to that effect, but this is just too general the way it is now. The next issue that we have is this watch video. No video has been mentioned to this point, and there's nothing described or explained what this video is about and what the benefit of me watching it is. So it's pretty much impossible to convince someone to click on this, and I'm not even sure. I see that down at the bottom it's hyperlinked to YouTube. I don't know if this is the action that you want people to take. In general, home pages or landing pages, in this case the home page is the landing page, the top goal that you have is to collect a lead. It's not to give them information. It's not to make a sale. Just giving information is not enough commitment, because 95% of the people that reach your site and then leave without opting in are never coming back. So, and trying to make a sale, of course, is too strong. It's just not going to happen in most cases unless you're a super well-known brand, like say a Weight Watchers or something like that. In which case people may just pop to your site and buy. But in 99% of cases, the opt-in is what you want on this page. And another reason for that is that that lead you can nurture for weeks, months, and years to come. It's the highest value action that a user can take when they're on your homepage, when they first land on your site. So here I would set this up not with the objective of getting them to watch a video, but getting them to opt in for your email list. Now the next change that I would make is I would actually move this navigation bar down to the bottom. Modern sort of blog design, you'll see it on neilpatel.com and I believe other marketers like Brian Dean, backlinko.com. A lot of Brian Harris of Video Fruit, and it's another example. I may not have all of those correct, but modern homepage design is now putting the nav bar at the bottom more and more, again, because it lets people focus on the highest value action that you can have them take, which is opting in. So by moving this down to the bottom, now instead of them having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things to click on here, plus the contact box, plus the watch video box, so 10 things in total. I won't count the social icons, but basically 10 things to do. You move this down to the bottom, and you probably remove this contact form, actually. Now there's only one action that they can take above the fold, and that is the ideal situation to be in. So once you've figured out what you want your offer to be here, turn this into an opt-in box, move this down to the bottom, you will increase your opt-ins maybe infinity percent, maybe thousands of percent, significantly in any case. So that's the first thing that I would do. So this section here is pretty decent actually. So this is like a what would you like to do sort of section. And this leads people to relevant pages for their particular desire. That's pretty good. The one thing I would change here is the title because they're already on your site. They have already been introduced to you. You really don't need to welcome them here. The ideal thing that you can say is something like, what problem would you like to solve, or how can we help, or what are you trying to achieve? Something that is sort of connecting with their problem and pushing them to take an action. So you want to get them probably to click on one of these things and reach the appropriate results page. So I would just change this headline to reflect more either their pain or the benefit, or in some way push them towards taking the desired action. So this section is interesting, and the way that these sort of social proof numbers are usually used is when you have an awful lot. So say an example, books downloaded. If you had, I don't know, 700,000 books downloaded, or 7 million books downloaded, or even 70,000 books downloaded, then that's a sensible thing to put here. But if you have, say, 70 downloads and even 700 downloads, which isn't bad, it's also not spectacular. So you're risking of actually having negative social proof, showing that maybe you're not an authority just because of the lack of big numbers here. So I would actually remove these sections. A nice thing that you could put, if you have them, are other trust signals like brands that you've worked with or guest posted on. So just as an example, if you had written on Forbes, putting the Forbes logo here, and then the logos of other media websites across here, 4 of them say, that would make sense in this section. And at some point you can also probably reintroduce these sections when you have more compelling data to use. Now, one exception to this might be you do have 734 audiobook downloads, and I'm not familiar with the Surrey hypnotherapy market, but it's very possible that you have one of the top selling audio courses in hypnotherapy in your region. And if that's the case, if you can find out that information, then that is something that you can use as social proof. You can say, you can put just across here in text that you have the top selling audio course, hypnotherapy course in Surrey, or something like that. And that is very positive social proof. So there might be some ways for you to use these numbers in slightly different ways to show positive social proof instead of negative social proof. All right, so this section with your ebook, Why Hypnotherapy? The text, my free ebook, will tell you all about why you need to think, etc., etc. So a couple things here. First of all is that if you're going to have this sort of offer, this should be at the top of the page. So the opt-in, don't hide it down below the fold. It should be the first thing people see. Now, more importantly than that is this particular offer does not have a lot of benefit to it. So say, for example, I'm a smoker and I'm looking to quit smoking. The thing that I want to know most is not why hypnotherapy can help me, but I want to know how to quit smoking. So if you have an ebook that's something like how to quit smoking using hypnotherapy in 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 7 steps or something else if you want to add it onto the end, now that's really compelling. But why hypnotherapy is, it's like a step removed from the things that people are actually going to want. So another example might be how hypnotherapy can help you break any bad habit in 21 days. something like that. Again, if you want to go the general route, talking about bad habits might be the way to go with that, so you can cast a wide enough net. But that level, that taking that step forward from why hypnotherapy to how do you solve the specific problem that you have using hypnotherapy as the solution, that's going to be much more compelling. So just to be very specific and help you a little bit with a copy, we can be more specific here. So the free ebook will tell you all about why you need to think about, and that's how to put it. It's not that it's general. It's a couple steps again removed from the thing that you want to say. It's the ebook's not telling you about why you need to think about something. It's the X step system that will get you X result. And then you're being extremely direct, right to the bottom line, and that's going to be much more compelling. So whatever offer you do come up with, I would highly recommend that you use that sort of extremely direct language, go straight to the bottom line, solving the problem, getting the result, and that will get you many more opt-ins and have people be excited to read your lead magnet and engage with your brand. So let's see, testimonials. That is great. I would not call these testimonials. The word testimonial, we can use it as marketers when we're talking to each other and describing, systems for getting testimonials, or hey, I got this cool testimonial the other day, or asking about how do I get more testimonials. But actually on your page, for consumers, this word is more, it raises some sort of sales red flags. So I might say something like, our latest success stories, something like that. Everyone wants to hear a success story. A testimonial, not so much, not so interesting and engaging. So just saying our latest success stories or something similar to that, that will improve the number of people watching these particular videos, will improve the effectiveness of the testimonials. So here, really the only thing that I would do is really make this more personal. It looks to me like you are a one-woman operation and you are the resident expert. So you can be really personal and say, hey, I'm Andrea Smith. This is a little bit about me. This is why I love helping people solve their problems with hypnotherapy. This is how I discovered it, or these are the results that I get. It doesn't have to be super long and drawn out, but those are the sorts of things that you can talk about. So all of your credentials are interesting, and this can be quite useful. But I would say rearrange this. You could probably put your picture, say left align it, and then have a quick story sort of on the right hand side, a little bit more personal about who you are, what you do. And that should bond people to you a little bit more than this, which is very professional. But the way that online sales and marketing tend to work is you want to have a more personal sort of message and personal sort of approach to your practice. So now, actually, let's see. So these trust signals, if these are places, so this is an accreditation. I'm not entirely sure what all of these are, but these might be sensible things to put in here as some sort of proof. The one thing you want to just be sure of is that they look congruent with each other. So for example, this is just text, as these are images. These two at the left, the white outline on a white background decreases visibility, and that's a little bit weird. It looks like the sizes are a little bit off and the alignment is a little bit off. So you want to be really, really consistent about all these things. These design principles and the way that things look is absolutely paramount in terms of building trust and having people believe that you're credible, especially when you're in a field such as you are. So I would definitely work on making these all congruent with each other, and then you have a bunch of space down at the bottom which is not really serving any current purpose. So I would shorten this up. And actually, let's talk a little bit about page layout. So putting this, your sort of bio section at the bottom, I would actually move this up into this section, because this you're either going to remove or you're going to move up to the top here, have your opt-in. So this section is going to be freed up. This is a perfect place after you've given people a chance to opt in. You've given them a chance to solve their next problem. Now, if they haven't said yes to any of these choices, and you showed some proof here, now it's a perfect place to introduce who you are. Because if they haven't taken action based on the offer, now you have the chance to actually sort of bond them to you as an individual. And that then is another chance to, after you've done that, after you've shown them this section as you update it, now you can actually make another call to action, have another opt-in form, either down, probably I would insert another section here with another opt-in form. It could just be a horizontal opt-in form. It doesn't have to be a large section like this. It could just be across, what's a good example? Sort of like this section, just even the height of the section should be even smaller, like a third of this height. And you can put that down below here, again, below your bio section. And then you should clean up a couple more percentage points of your visitors and get them onto your list. Then you can have your testimonials, and then below that have one more horizontal opt-in bar, sort of your last chance to opt in. It can be the same offer that you had up here, even, that is totally fine. And then you have your very brief footer section, which should actually now contain this navigation bar. And then on the other, so I noticed that the navigation floats. On other pages of your site, that is awesome, and you can totally do that. On the home page, again, the main priority is opt-ins, so I would move this to the bottom. If you want to have a floating bar, I would recommend using hello bar, and now you have another floating opt-in bar that follows people down the page. That could be a little bit much for this type of homepage. I'd be more inclined just to have this blank and let people scroll, but it's definitely something you could test and might give you some good results. So I think that's all I have to say about this page. That is a lot of stuff to change. Please, if you have any questions, get in touch. I would be more than happy to answer them for you. And with that said, good luck with your website, and I'll see you in another video.